Nightly Musers, followers of the pod, faithful few and hopeful many, this is Anchor by Spotify. If you haven't heard about it, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. It's the very platform that allows me to give you what I give you on the nightly. So let me explain. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. And it gives you the ability to distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and so much more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally FREE free. So here's where you come in. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. That is ANCHOR.fm to get started. Thank you very much. Peace.
Welcome to the Nightly Muse podcast. This is your host, Tinayeshe. What's up? Shout out Low Fly. Let's get going. Sorry I've missed out on the past 2 days. I can blame I can blame my friend Chase for missing day whatever it was. I mean, you know what I mean. Releasing the episode a day removed from the last one. You know what I'm trying to say. What I mean is, I was on the phone with Chase. He called me and I was being a good friend, and he said that I could use him as a scapegoat. He can be my fall guy. Now, for day 2, I have no excuse outside of the fact that I got home. I got in bed after making a great sandwich, and I passed out. Woke up at 1 a.m., couldn't sleep. Fun times. But here I am. Honestly, the past couple of days, I've been struggling to figure out what I even wanted to talk about. But coming off the Can We Just Talk episode, which is, I guess, 2 episodes ago, I guess one of the questions I have is, can we as it pertains to faith, obviously, I feel like I'd like to say that I'd have an unwavering faith. That I've had difficult times and moments where I've doubted certain things in life, but I've never doubted the existence of God and the foundational beliefs that I hold. That being said, I feel that as I've gotten older, I'm just not super loud, not about my faith, but about I don't really I don't know. It's weird to say because I feel like if you look at my social media and you look at my captions, it's very clear that I'm a Christian. The things that I say exemplify that. It exudes my faith in how I guess, show myself. But I don't feel a need to be the guy on the corner of the street with a xylophone or a megaphone or whatever. Xylophone it's not a xylophone, a megaphone. And screaming at folks. That's just not who I am. And I guess with the Roe v. Wade stuff, it's me saying whether or not I'm pro-life or pro-choice it's not going to change the ruling. It happened. And I guess, people are expressing their opinions about what happened, right? It's a commentary about what's taking place in the world. And yes, I would consider myself pro-life. And that's, that's me. And that's because of, faith stuff and the things that I've learned. But I have no desire to kind of be super kind of obnoxious about it. And then on the other side, I don't know, like I don't necessarily get bothered by people on the other side as much as I want to, not necessarily, I guess I don't want to learn from them in the sense that like I don't see myself going to that other side. But I feel like these are still I'm going to relate with, like, I'm going to meet people that don't agree with what I believe politically. I'm going to meet people that don't believe what I believe theologically. I'm going to meet people that don't believe in what I believe in as it pertains to social justice and a lot of things. And I guess sometimes I feel like the things that I use my voice for and the things that I choose not to use my voice for, sometimes I wonder if I'm making the right choice. And this is literally just me processing, like, I see so many people say, stake their claim. I noticed, what was it? Draymond Green, he has a podcast. Shout out to Draymond Green podcast. Shout out the Warriors for winning 4. They've technically won more than 4, but this era, the Dre, Clay, and Steph era, continues their greatness. But he talks about the new media, and he's like, the new media is standing on what you say and all this stuff. And it's like, I get what he's saying, but anyway, he ended up making a mistake saying something that was inappropriate about somebody else, and he had to kind of apologize for it. He actually didn't really apologize for it as much as he accepted the accountability for his actions, which was interesting. But he kept saying, like, I'm gonna stand on that. And it was like, in some respects, I feel like I see people not like saying anything, and then the people who are saying stuff are just being like mad loud. And I'm like, I don't know if my call is to be loud. Like, if somebody asks me about my faith, I will tell them about it. I think I show people naturally what I believe in through what I say and how I act and how I live. But sometimes it feels like the mindset's like, just in case you were wondering where I stand, this is where I stand. And it's like, is that necessary? I don't know. Like, when the George Floyd stuff happened, I did think it was necessary for people to express themselves and talk about it. But that was because for a long time in our history, like, Trayvon got killed and there was division on whether or not it was just a kid going to his dad's house in his own neighborhood gets profiled and killed by somebody who was supposed to observe and call. But somehow, like, I can get worked up on that. And for years, that was my, like, talk about losing of innocence from a social standpoint. It was then. And when George Floyd happened, it was like, no, like, if you're not saying something, the silent majority has been, like, in agreement with what has gone on. Like, they have been, I'm silent because I'm saying that it's fine. What happened took place. What took place is okay. And I needed people to speak out. But I didn't necessarily look, like, I wasn't scanning my Instagram, seeing, did you say it? Do you have a black square? If you don't have a black square, it's a red flag. Like, I noticed it sometimes. But I think more than anything, it was more that it encouraged me when I saw people stepping up, But I guess in this situation, like, I mean, to be honest, I'm not a woman. So, like, there's an element of, not like I'm disqualified from the conversation, but there are levels to the conversation that, like, I'm not fully gonna be able to empathize with the other side. There are certain things that, you know, most of my internal, like, questioning is like, is it a life or not? That's kind of where the buck stops with me there. And the rest of the conversation is stemmed, it hinges on that for me. And that's where I live. That is where I draw that line, is if we're gonna have this conversation, that's where that needs to go. And then after that, like, I mean, then we can talk. But I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of, it's like there's a need to say something. And it's hard because it's like, do I need to say something? Can I just be a passive observer and see this happen? And in some ways, I feel like my silence sometimes is assumed then I'm on the other side, or regardless of who I'm interacting with, right? It's if I'm silent on this side, then I'm that. If I'm silent on that side, then I'm this. And it's like, what if I just don't feel the need to insert my opinion all the time? Like, I don't know. This is hard. I don't even feel like this is a fully, like, structured episode. As much as this is, it's just me, like, expressing, like, don't y'all get tired? Like, I looked at Instagram and I have a friend who he took a break from social media like a couple of days before the Roe v. Wade hearing. And I asked him, when did you do it? And he said, I did it right before. And I was like, well, boy, Instagram has been on fire. The social media world has just been up in flames since this decision because everybody's just screaming at each other. And he was like, yeah, I heard. And I was like, boy, you picked the right time to get off social media. Like, it's just a mess. And I guess I find myself back at the same place of last episode. Can we just talk? Can we just conversate and not debate all the time? I don't know. That's just my heart. And I feel like I just had another episode. Just like, I find myself, I mean, I don't know. You grow up in church culture and everything's like the end times and persecution. And you're going to have to like choose this day who you will serve. And I'm like, does choosing this day who I will serve mean like saying on social media, this is who I'm serving? Or does this mean like living the life that God has called me to live? Granted, if I feel like God's calling me to make a post, then I guess I need to make a post. But I don't know. I'm just trying to figure it out because it just feels like the Great Commission didn't say, go to the ends of the earth and be loud on social media. It said reach, like, tell people about me. And that part is being loud. And yeah, like, you can tell people about you on social media, but like, I just feel like it's meant to be relational. And even in that, it's having conversations. Like, and I'm going to stop it here and we're going to continue on this train of thought next episode. So shout out Low Fly, to be continued.